Hello and welcome to another video of Archons Only, where we try to beat Genshin Impact using only Archon characters. So for this video we're actually continuing through Nahida's story quest, and I think we're going to arrive to one of the most depressing parts of the story, when we learn about the true story of Nahida, or the previous Dendro Archon, and how did it happen and how she became the new Archon and everything like that. And I feel that this is one of the most, I would say, sad parts where they have to talk between each other. And I don't know if I'm going to include everything because it's like huge. It's really long, but at least maybe some beautiful animatics or something like that. Again, this is probably going to be related to the thumbnail because I feel like there are a lot of pretty things in here. But yeah, that's basically what we're trying to do. We need to defeat some monsters, so at least it's a little bit more action than only dialogue, like what happened in one of the last, or in the previous parts of the Archon story quest, but at least we are able to do something to do it more fun. So the other thing is that I am aiming to finish Nahida's story quest. I don't know if I'm going to do it in this video or if there's going to be another one, but my goal is to actually finish it as soon as possible. Wow, look at this. It looks really, really beautiful. But yeah, so I want to see if I can finish it. I don't know what else do we need to do. I think I haven't progressed much in my in my real main account, so probably everything that we do after here is going to be new, especially if it doesn't need to be in order. The other thing that I noticed is that we didn't do anything of the desert yet. And we're actually, I would say, finishing the Archon story quest. So I guess that all the desert and all the exploration is a different quest. So maybe that's something we can do later and figure out if that's actually where we want to go or not. But for the meantime, I think my main goal is to try to see what else we need to do. Try maybe to do Fontaine or to do Natlan. Those are the next nations that we need. Mainly because we're not, I don't know if it's going to be worth it to do Natlan, although it's a new region and Mavuika is a new Archon and she looks fantastic. And I think that would be my main reason to do Natlan. At the same time, we started to do the Natlan story quest on Fatui only, basically, because we didn't want to reach Inazuma or other places. So maybe if that's the case and that's how we're going to continue, maybe I'm not going to focus much on Natlan in this account. Maybe I can steal some of the thumbnails in the next from that account to actually have it as a thumbnail in this account. But we will see how that's going to go and what else we need to do. But I feel that if we have other things to do to maybe be different of what happens in Fatui only or what happens in Archons only, then that would be ideal. So as I mentioned before, several things are still remaining. First, we need to finish these Nahida or Sumeru story quests or Sumeru explorations. We haven't done anything in any of the both accounts. Then the other thing that we need to do is to do Fontaine, although we did a little bit of Fontaine exploration with Fatui only because, with Fatui only because basically all the characters are from from Fontaine, or at least the one that we have. Unfortunately, we cannot do the Archon story quest because there is not a quick start, like it happened, for example, with this new Natlan. So then that's still unexplored, and we still don't know what happens to the Archons and how that Archon story quest is, because basically I haven't done it in any of my accounts ever. So we're going to find out what happens and what's the real story behind Furina and the Hydro Archon and the Gnosis and everything like that. But yeah, I feel that that's going to be a great plan, and if not, we still need to do the chasm. I would like to get Chong-Li in this account before doing the chasm, but I mentioned, I think in my last video, that I can do the chasm in Fatui only, because we have a Claymore character, so that would be great. I don't know if we need a specific element to do it, I don't think so. Maybe we'll find out when we do it, but for the meantime, I think we're going to be able to do it in any of those accounts. So at least there is some content to do. I don't know if it's going to be interesting for you or not. Please let me know what we like to do in the different accounts or what we like to see. But That's mainly my intention here. I want to do content that is different between the two accounts. I want to do content that I don't feel it is bored at all. And I want to showcase basically the best parts of every account. For example, in Archons Only, focus on Archon related things. For example, these cinematics in here, which is really beautiful and probably going to use it in my thumbnail. But also in Fatui Only, we can try to focus on cinematics of Fatui characters, like in the case of what happened with Capitano and this kind of thing. So basically, let's see how this is going to morph or how this is going to continue. There are going to be probably some events in between. Let's see if we can do them using only Fatui or Archon characters, and if not, we can actually try to see we're going to skip them, or we also need to see if they are interesting to show, because some of them are not. They don't require anything to do from us, and basically it's a mini game into the game, so maybe that's not as important as it should be. So yeah, this is I would say one of the saddest parts. Well, Nahida's story is really sad all the way. So I feel like this is another saddest part among it, but I feel it's like rendition of like why she was selected, why she's the new Archon. A little bit of confidence on her, because like she says like, oh, I'm like you and you're a part of me, so it's not like something that she should feel sorry or bad about that. Like, she's actually a good Archon in the end, and I feel like she is so powerful, so good. And you can see here we have two Nahidas in here, ready to go. The other thing, that the reason that we're doing this Archon quest is because we get a lot of wishes, and that's something that we really need before getting even Zhongli or Mavuika. And I didn't know about this quest. I think this is around the time that I stopped playing, because I don't remember anything about this quest, so I guess I didn't do it. I remember that you need to meet, I think he's Kea in Fontaine, and that's who. It was around the time that you can get his Sumeru like costumes or clothes, but I don't think I did any of that quest, and I think that was around the time that I stopped playing in my main account and start focusing into this account. So maybe it was around a year ago when everything or this part of it started. It would make sense because it's probably when Nahida was released. Maybe it was with this patch, maybe, or around that time. But I remember that when Nahida was released was when I got this idea of creating this account. Maybe. And after that, I was waiting until Venti rerun to actually pull for Venti and start this challenge, or this Archons Only challenge, because I knew that having Venti in Mondstadt, the region where you start, and having Anemo as a main element was going to be crucial, especially because Venti can fly upwards and he can elevate through the air, and we found that being really useful, especially for the early domains. And not only that, he could swirl different elements, especially Pyro or Cryo or Electron, which were really used during this early stage of the game. So I feel like that was the reason why we got delayed. We started this account, although I thought about doing it when Nahida was released. It took me a really long time to actually start it. So I wonder, no, it should have been like 2 years ago, basically, or around 2 years ago. Because then I have to get Venti, and that took, I would say, like a full year, maybe, between wishes. But yeah, I feel like this is where we are right now. I think that this challenge is going really well. We are like reaching so many episodes. I don't know what's going to happen by episode 100. And again, I don't know if I'm going to continue this forever. I would love to see to have Mavuika here. I would love to reach to Snetsnaya, especially with Fatui Only. That would be amazing. And maybe having finally 7 Archons would be great. But again, this is like a fun challenge that I do. I don't know if it's going to last forever. Should we think of any goal? What's our main goal in this challenge? Try to get all the Archons, try to get all the weapons, try to defeat the end content, maybe the Spiral Abyss or even the new theater. Maybe that could be a good end of game challenge to see, okay, if we did that, then it means like we're done. I don't know if I want that, but I feel that if I see that I don't have much time to actually play or to actually make videos, or even if I don't have any content, because you can tell that as far as we go, I'm getting closer to like the actual events, and in the end, that's how the whole story or content is going to get up to the actuality. But maybe that's for a good reason. Maybe that means that we need to wait, or we need to make only videos of these accounts when we needed to do them. Maybe we can start a new challenge. I was always thinking of doing the ones from Liu. It would be really good to have it in the Lantern Ride, but I don't think it's going to be this one because I have a lot of things to do. But maybe for the next one, we can actually start it and do a Lua based account, or how are they called? I think they're called Adepti. So maybe having like an Adepti whole account so you can use only Adepti characters. I might need to read which ones are Adepti and which ones are not, but that could be a good challenge basically to do. It's only going to involve Lua characters. I know that Lua characters are overpowered, but I don't think everyone is a Adepti. So then we need to figure out which ones they would be and if it would be feasible or not. If you have, for example, all the elements, or if you have like all the weapons and these kind of things. But yeah, let me know what else would you like to see, or what other challenges do you think they're going to be fun. Maybe like a animal fusion characters. There are a lot of them if you really think, like with different ears and tails and everything like that. So that could be a really interesting challenge. I don't know if someone else did it already. But again, I don't think they're going to bring too much structure into this. It will be something I would do just for fun, and maybe not just for the reason of making content and putting videos all the time. And again, I think that my videos through the time improve a lot. Basically, that I think the first videos were terrible, let's be honest. But then if you compare Archons Only and Fatui Onlys are going faster than Archons Only. And that could be because some of the story quests we are ignoring them, we're ignoring anything that does not require or has not anything interesting with the characters that could actually provide a challenge for this account. So yeah, maybe the next challenges are going to be even faster than Fatui Only, for sure. This challenge, or this domain, is really, really weird. I think we just inverted it, which is strange. I think this is the first time they did something like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they changed the reality like this. I think the Legend of Zelda had something similar. One of the first ones, I think the Ocarina of Time, they have something that you need to rotate some rooms, and that's how you progress. But I don't think they did it in Genshin. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, basically, but I don't think that was a thing in here. But yeah, let's see what we discover. So I think he's from Cambria, right? Like, he's using the Cambria clothes, and I think that they're hinting some things about Kaya being from Cambria or having familiars from Cambria. So then it's kind of like crazy that everything is... I don't know if it was known before. I didn't know about that, but maybe it's because I don't read. But maybe if that's something that they're dropping right now, it means like, oh my god, it was under our noses all the time. Like, for example, when the Traveler was using his purifying skill that we know from the get-go, and that could for sure bring something positive in this account, or in this nation of Natlan, where he can fight the Abyss, or he can go into these weird places without getting affected. So I feel like maybe they thought about it, or maybe it was someone saying like, oh, do you remember that we did this before? Why don't we bring it back to have more cohesion? I don't know if it was everything already planned, or if it was something that they like a trick that they got under their hat just at the last moment. So yeah, I would like to hear your opinions and your theories about it. I feel like it's going to be Natlan is going to be great. Lore wise, we are seeing that the Fatuis play a major role in here. I know that they show us, or they still be hinting us that the Fatuis they have a main role that is to collect the Gnosis, but also they have some freedom to pursue their own interests, and I think that's something that it was hinted in Fontaine at some point. But I feel that in Natlan it's going to be way much crazier. And I would like to see where this goes, basically. And maybe the Fatwis are not as bad as we think. Maybe they are good people. Maybe they are not the bad guys. The bad guys are going to be the Abyss. And the Abyss is led by our twin. So maybe our twin is the evil one. Or what they mentioned before also is that, or at least the twin says that we are in the wrong side. So maybe the Abyss is in the right side, and maybe we are the ones ruining everything, and we're the ones causing the problem in Kyria. Who knows? But I feel like we're going to find a lot of surprises during these last patches and these last regions. They're going to change everything that we know. Of course, there's going to be a redemption arc, or I think it's going to be a redemption arc in Snetsnaya. I think I want to know the real purpose of what's the point of collecting all the Gnosis or what the Tsaritsa wants. And I feel like I want to be there to actually do it because that would mean it's involving an Archon and also a Fatui. So I hope that this account stays alive at least for an extra year and see if we can maintain that promise or not. And if, for example, I take a break at some point, I would definitely come back for Snetsnaya. It's something that I need to do for sure. So yeah, I feel that that's where everything's coming. Ooh, that looks mysterious. It looks like the upside down statue from that we saw with the first. Oh, there it is, with the first dance leaf quest. So they're talking about like worshipping a god. Is that what the main people in Kyria worship, and that's how everything got destroyed? I don't know. Maybe that's the Abyss side, the Abyss god, the Upside Down. Who knows? Maybe Stranger Things. At the same time, is this what we're fighting in the Abyss? Basically, are these the armies of the Abyss? It also has this purple hint, like the things that are happening in Natlan has. So maybe everything is connected at some point. We will see how they wrap it up and how they make it interesting, or at least cohesive. But for now, they're hinting a lot of things. And I'm surprised that this is hidden in an Archon quest because it has nothing to do with the Archons, or at least that's what I think. I guess this is Dance Leaf quest that's like in every region. So who knows? I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe that's part of the Archons. I don't know. We will see if this is going to have a big effect in the future. People are saying that after Snetsnaya we're going to go to Kyria. I don't know if that's going to be real or not because Kyria is already destroyed by now. So maybe that actually means that it's not destroyed, or we're going to go to the destruction and we're going to travel back in time. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe we're going to find the unknown god that we find at the beginning from the Heavenly Principles, and maybe that's going to be the one involved in Kyria destruction. Something that I would say was kind of hinted at some point, because if you see Kyria, you see the same red blocks that you see when they kidnap our brother or sister. So yeah, we will see what's going to happen. I feel like it's going to be a lot of information coming from at once, and maybe I'm going to be overwhelmed. And of course, I will need someone to explain it to me. So I'm probably going to pay attention to a lot of like YouTube videos from different content creators who actually pay attention to the lore of Genshin Impact and digest it for people who don't pay much attention to the dialogues, basically. So then we went back inside, and let's see what do we find in here. And nothing is there anymore. So yeah, that was kind of weird. So maybe it was something that happened only once. Maybe it was our imagination. I don't know what happened. They say it could be an illusion. I don't know how it disappeared. Maybe we will find out later. But this whole part is actually a mystery. So sadly, I'm not going to show anything more because the last parts are, I would say, big spoilers. So I think it's the perfect time to finish the video. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share if you really like it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.